Well, here we are in LA, my first time cooking in the US in an amazing kitchen. And to start it off, I think it's so appropriate to do an American salad. What do I mean by that? Well, here you get your salty and your sweet mixed in a lot of, say, diner restaurants where they'll have your chicken and waffles or even, say, pancakes and bacon. For that, I'm celebrating my term and we're going to do this American salad which has got a mixture of the salty and sweet, so you get that mixture of flavour, but you also get that amazing greenery and the goodness that is Dan Churchill in healthiness. So, what have we got today? Well, if you really want to know, we've got all the ingredients on the blog, which will be just down here, or if you're on YouTube, I'll have a link just below in the description, which you can take you straight to the blog as well. But for those playing at home, we've got Spanish onion, some kale, the pecans or pecans if you're from Australia, lemon, some rice malt syrup, salt, and we've got our bacon here. Now you can go shortcut. I actually tried getting it shortcut here in the US, but I couldn't find any. But so you can use any bacon. You can use prosciutto if you want to as well, or even ham. Just depends which way you want to go. But enough chit chat. All I've done to prepare is simply put these things into pretty bowls, and I've taken the skin off the Spanish onion. And other than that, we're going to ride along with me, and hopefully my cameraman can keep up with me. So to get started, we put our pan on the heat, and all we're going to do is add a little touch of oil to our pan. And what we're going to do is we're going to allow that to, because it's got a bit of oil in it itself and the fat, we're only adding a little bit of oil. Olive, of course. Okay, so as it's doing its thing, we're going to combine the sugar content. In this case, it's going to be rice malt syrup, so it's quite a low fructose content, which is really good for you. And we're going to let the caramelization effect occur both to the saltiness, which is already there with the cured bacon. Love a good gas top. As I said, you can use shortcut, you can use any form you want really. Today I've got some amazing organic produce that I got down from the local Whole Foods. If you've been reading my blogs, you know how much I love my Whole Foods. And you want a nice little sizzle. I'm going to get this guy in there somehow. There we go. So we're going to let them caramelise a little bit in its own juices, its own fats, its own protein. When it gets to a nice golden colour, we'll flip them over, we'll do the same thing the other side, and I'll transfer them to half the side of the pan. To the other half I'm going to add the rice malt syrup, which is our sweetness. So you're going to have that saltiness and the sweetness in the same pan. So by doing that, I'm then going to transfer the sugar content over to the other side, and you're going to have that amazing caramelization effect from the salty and the sweet. That's looking pretty good. Excellent. You can see it's got a really nice brown colour on it. Some epic smells coming through. Now if you have tongs, we don't actually have tongs here in this house, but if you've got them, probably a bit more appropriate. Now remember, whenever you're adding a little bit of a sweetness to a pan, they tend to colour or they can burn a little bit, so I'm just undercooking this slightly, because now, as it's doing its thing, I'm going to add that to half the pan. You've got some good flavour. Okay, so add that rice malt syrup to half the pan. Just about a tablespoon. You can already see it's bubbling up. And then you simply tip it over the other side and get it all infused in there. You can see automatically the golden colour come through from that burst of that caramelisation effect. Okay, so while that's doing that, I'm just going to remove that from the heat because that bacon will continue to cook. So bring it over here. We're just going to transfer it. We'll just transfer it back onto our board. And that's going to continue cooking. But I want to keep that flavour from the pan because that's what we're going to colour our pecans in. Now, it's quite hot. So I'm probably not even going to put it back on the heat. But I'm just going to quickly toss these through. Just a nice little coating. You can see you get a nice colour. You get that salty, that sweet, and you get the crunch from the pecan. Becoming more American. It's only been a week. Okay, straight back into its pot. Like so. Got beautiful juice in there. Okay, now as I said, I've already pre-washed our beautiful kale onto the board. Now you can take the stems off, but I'm going to keep them in. Probably not doing 2 bunches. This is how cooking is, you kind of just go as you go. Just a little rough shred. I'll put that back on the board. Beautiful. Back into our mixing bowl. Okay, then we got our Spanish onion. Again, just peeled it, halved it. And not only does it add that awesome colour, but you know, Spanish onion's got a little bit of, I guess, not heat, but a little bit of that spice, that funniness that comes through. Alright, and just do your thing, bring it through. Any chunky bits you can chop up again. Cool. Now, I can tell you right now, that is a good snack on its own. But I'm gonna be, I'm gonna have a really good discipline and wait till the end. But you can see from that sweetness, from that saltiness, from its own fat and juices, it's really kind of come up quite crispy. Now, if you were to put that on a board and let it chill out for a little bit, it really, really would caramelize and get to the point where it's quite hard. But I'm okay for now, just for the purposes of this, and because I can't really wait too long. I'm just going to let it sit for another couple of seconds before I'm just going to roughly chop it up. I want to keep it quite chunky. I don't want to, you know, I'm not too even on this. Like so. Okay, now I'm going to put half in our bowl and leave a half to kind of garnish on top. Then, what am I going to do with these? You know what, I think I might roughly chop them. Maybe keep some whole. Beautiful. Again. Awesome. Okay, now with anything, you always want to finish off with a little bit of acidity because that allows the flavour to draw out, keeps it, you know, maintained, not just hit for 1 second because you don't want just a 1 second effort, right? So we've got a little bit of our pecans left. We've got some of our cured and sweetened bacon. Now I'm simply just going to quickly use, you could say a cheek or half of our lemon. Squeeze it over the top. That is absolutely amazing the amount of juice that just came out of that. A pinch of salt. A little bit more olive oil. And then the mix. And then simply you're going to serve it onto a plate like we have here. So you got bursts of colours and finish off with our bacon and our pecans. And then you guys have had it, you know, the whole way through. It may look a bit messy now, you have to just clean it up, but at the end of the day, you've got my American salad. Get that salty, that sweet. That's #1 episode here from LA.